It's college application season, and I'm here to talk to you about 5 things to consider before you apply to university. Number 1, keep track of everything. So have an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document, or shoot, just a notepad where you are tracking the financial costs of the institutions that you're applying to, the application requirements for each institution, the financial aid package you receive from each institution once you're admitted, as well as just keeping track of dates for when you're actually applying, when you hear back regarding the decision, as well as the deadlines. And don't forget scholarship deadlines, it's very important. Speaking of funding, number 2, apply for funding. So first thing, make sure you filled out the FAFSA. Now, if you're under a certain age, your parents are likely going to also need to provide their financial information, their W-2s, etc., unless you are emancipated or that you are at a certain age threshold. Fill out the FAFSA. It doesn't matter if you plan to take out any sort of federal loan money. You could possibly receive grants. Some scholarships even are based off of the expected family contribution and need-based aspect of the FAFSA. So just have it on file. Just fill it out. It lasts for the whole academic year, fall to the end of summer of that academic year. So fill out the FAFSA. But also make sure you're applying for financial aid. Even if you're not sure that you are eligible for specific scholarships, but you think maybe you're kind of on the cusp, you kind of meet certain eligibility, there are need-based versus merit-based scholarships. Apply for scholarships. So that's number 2. Oh, and a quick little aside, if you're not sure what scholarships are available at the institutions you're applying for, contact financial aid. Number 3, make sure you're tailoring your application to each individual college you're applying for. Now, this isn't going to be the case for everyone because certain colleges have just minimum requirements for admission. Some don't require personal statements. Some accept the Common App. So, tailor this to you. But what I'm saying is, if you are applying, especially for some of those colleges that have a really low acceptance rate, like the Ivy Leagues, you're going to need to tailor your application specifically to them, expressing why you're a good fit for the program and why that program is going to be a good fit for you and your future career aspirations. Number 4, make sure you're applying not only to those schools that are your dream schools, but also if you plan to attend college and you want to have some that are your fallback institutions, apply for a few, at least one. I would say it's better to apply for 2, maybe even 3, that are kind of like a for sure thing. Maybe local schools, maybe schools that you have some sort of affiliation with, if you are a legacy there, if your parents attended there, if you know that they have maybe a really high acceptance rate for your high school. Just apply for some schools that are going to be fallback in case your dream schools, for whatever reason, do not admit you. Worst case scenario, if you are dead set on a dream school, you can attend for a couple of years, maybe even just a semester at the school that you are admitted into, and then transfer in those credits to the dream school at a later date. So I'm not saying give up on it. I'm just saying be smart, play the odds. Number 5, and this one may be a little controversial, but I'm speaking from personal experience and what I would do if I had the chance to do it over. Number 5, consider community colleges. So I think a lot of people have negative stigma around the community college, which is super unfortunate. I've worked for a community college. I can tell you that it is such a wonderful value. If you're able to go 2 years to community college and get your core classes completely taken care of, depending on the 4-year schools you might apply to later, some of them have articulation agreements with 2 years, meaning that they'll take all those credits and maybe even put them toward a specific program track. It's the price differentiation is astounding. Okay, just look at the per credit hour cost of, or even the block tuition rates for community college credit hour courses as opposed to four-year institution. And I say credit hour because generally most schools either have block tuition where you reach a certain amount of credit hours, usually it's 12 for undergraduate students, and you hit a block rate, so anything you take beyond that is included in the price. But a number of colleges nowadays, especially if you do online programs, have per credit hour tuition rates, which means that you're paying literally per credit hour. And community colleges can be like $200 per credit hour versus a four-year institution, which can be upwards in the thousands per credit hour. So it can save you a lot of money. And so I say this to suggest that perhaps you have a community college on the back burner, and if you feel comfortable commuting, because most community colleges you're going to need to commute to get those 2 years of core classes that all students are required to have, that then can be transferred into a four-year, it's so cost effective. So if you're not getting the scholarship funding, if you're not getting grants, if your parents for whatever reason won't provide you with their financials so that you can apply for the FAFSA, consider community college. It's going to save you so much money. So I wish I would have done it. Good luck. If you have specific questions, I'm happy to help answer those, and I'll try to be back daily with different tips and tricks for higher education.